Welcome back to Seen It Before, where we're probably going to say something stupid about your favorite movie because we've seen it all before. I'm Danny.
I'm Dan, and I was going to say something. I totally forgot what it was to make fun of you for today.
This happens frequently, like almost every time.
I had it in my head before we started, and then I just totally forgot.
I was like, he's a bitch, or some shit like that, yeah?
Yeah, let's just go with that. You're a bitch.
Right.
That's the
Classics.
usual thing. Yeah, classics. You did something stupid today, and I forgot what it was. You do a lot of stupid things.
I do a lot of stupid shit. It's hard to keep track of it.
Anyway, we just got out of watching Black Panther Wakanda Forever. We are very excited to talk about this one because we didn't have the highest of expectations going into this movie. I mean, we kind of blew ourselves out of the water with Doctor Strange when that came out.
Yeah, well, it's like he was sort of like a Mephisto 2.0, where it was just like, getting hyped up and stuff, but, spoiler alert, he's not in it, but...
yeah. But
there's still some good stuff in it, and we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, as you can tell, we are on our guest set today, so we've got a guest joining us, our good friend Day. He has been on. You've been on before, right? Yeah.
Not
video. First time video.
First time video.
Did
was guest.
Yeah, you were unfortunately on like the cutoff, like one of the first podcasts of season 4, but right before we got to video.
Yeah.
So like right after, I think right after we actually got the set because we did Batman. Like that was our first one. So.
Yeah.
But now you're here, so that's cool.
We're here.
I'm live and in color.
Got a lot of things to talk about. I got a bunch of notes. You kept telling me to write different things down in the car.
Yeah, well, the stuff that I told you to remind me without telling you, but like to remind me because we're using my phone as a camera, so I can't take my notes.
Yeah. So I am the
and I forget things a lot.
Master as usual,
yeah.
and not a master by any means. So. Yeah. Anyway, let's just get to this review. We're rambling at this point, so yeah, let's just get to it.
Welcome back to Seen It Before. Wait, we already did that.
Oh, let's keep that. I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
All right. And that was really dumb, but hey, here we are.
Do you think I did that not on purpose? You think that low of me?
Yes. Unfortunately, I do.
Okay, whatever. No, let's continue with Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
All right. So the opening, very somber.
Yeah, obviously real life death happened with Chadwick Boseman. So
yeah, it's a very nice one take they had throughout that whole opening intro they had going on, where Shuri's like, she needs to save her brother. He's got like 25% oxygen left in his system, and she's trying everything she can to try to save him best she can. Mm-hmm. I like how they do it all off screen too. Obviously, they don't want to bring in a CGI Chadwick Boseman. That would be the worst thing they probably could have done. Yeah. So, yeah. The first thing I really want to talk about is Shuri's headspace in this movie. She basically lost part of her soul with T'Challa dying, and it's really fueled the fire, pun intended, for this movie. She's just full of rage, full of hate, and it kind of reminds us of another character from the very first Black Panther movie, Mr. Killmonger. Yeah. Very similar things they got going on here, and it's just so well crafted, so well done. What were some of your takeaways today from her role in this movie?
So yeah, I was heartbroken when I found out about Chad. I was interested in like discovering how they're gonna pass on the mantle to Shuri. I was hoping to get a little more M'Baku. Like they didn't give him a lot to do. I was hoping we would get more Nakia, but like, because I was surprised in the beginning when she she's nowhere to be gone. I mean, it's for a good reason.
Yeah, we'll get to that later. We'll get that.
But
yeah, they explain it pretty well.
Yeah, they justified like why she took up the mantle.
Yeah,
her headspace. Like I don't know exactly how much I can like give away without like.
Oh, this is
we're in total spoilers.
Total
spoiler territory.
But we're mainly just talking about Shuri right now. Okay. So,
and well, not to steal the spotlight from Shuri, but I will say I did love Angela Bassett.
Oh my God!
I thought her performance was incredible.
Absolutely incredible.
Like her speech to the UN was like,
She's like, yeah, I was like her at the end of it where she's just like, I wish you guys luck in finding vibranium somewhere else.
Yeah.
You can fuck right off.
The French were just straight up trying to like.
Yeah. Other the lady, like, the one guy's like talking, is like, Wakanda, like, open up, they're not sharing this shit with us, and the French lady's just like, yeah, get them. Yeah. And then I forgot her name.
Queen Ramonda.
Ramonda.
Ramonda. Yeah, I think it is.
Ramonda.
Yeah. So like, they introduce her, and then she's like comes in with like her fucking squad.
Yeah.
It's like she just like totally outclasses everybody in the UN.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. And another big aspect of this movie, and probably the future going forward, is the vibranium war that they are bringing into this. And it's a lot. It's very heavily present that this is obviously the strongest material on Earth.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the strongest element, whatever you want to call it, on Earth. And it's just...
I think it's going to be like, going to the new Captain, because we thought of the Captain America movie is going to kind of focus on that, where Steve Rogers, poised himself as being for no organization or country. He just did the right thing. And we don't really know that about
Sam Wilson.
Yeah, Sam. We don't know about him yet. Like, he wants to work, like in Falcon and Winter Soldier, he wanted to work with the senators and stuff. But then he's also saying, like, keep yourself in check. So he's trying to work with them, and I wonder if he's gonna in that movie if he's gonna like split off, and be like, fuck this, guys. We gotta completely do something. I mean, that's why it's called New World Order.
Well, it doesn't just set up New World Order either. It sets up Secret Invasion, and it also sets up Thunderbolts eventually, especially because Valentina Allegra de Fontaine shows up in this movie.
Yeah, he was a surprise.
That was a big surprise. I was like, oh, okay, we're going there, and it turns out to be Everett Ross's ex-wife. So that was such a weird thing to throw in there.
They're just like, how they introduce it to. They're like they get in the car and it's like, we need to talk about, or I need to apologize for comments I made during our marriage. I'm like, what the fuck?
And somehow I didn't expect her to be so high up in like the CIA. She's the director.
She's just the director now.
Yeah. Like, okay. Because I know the president is going to have a bigger presence in Secret Invasion. So that means she's probably going to have a presence as well in Secret Invasion.
See, I'm not a fan of like including like the president in like any like this superhero stuff. Like I didn't like it in Iron Man 3. I still don't like it now. It's just like,
this makes my brain go off and think he's probably a Skrull.
That would be interesting.
I heard a different theory. I heard that maybe Everett Ross.
I've heard that one too.
Would be the president. And that's why they casted Harrison Ford.
Oh. Okay.
I mean, interesting. That's just the internet running wild. So
that's a good theory. They could run with that for sure.
I mean, but my thing is they're probably going to do Red Hulk eventually. So
I mean,
the president as the Red Hulk. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, Harrison Ford is signed on for 2 movies.
I'm pretty sure he wants to keep it that way too.
I think it's World War Hulk and Thunderbolts. So he might have a cameo appearance. Where he shows up, we don't know. Secret Invasion would make sense for him to show up there, but it would also make sense for him to show up, I don't know, Captain America.
Maybe
Captain America makes sense. Military, he's a general.
Yeah, but those are the only real places I could see him actually, showing up.
Yeah.
So Black Panther.
But there's a lot going on for the MCU as a whole. But let's get back to Black Panther. Well, that's one of the top notes I have in here. It's like, oh, that just makes sense what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
One thing I wanted to mention though in the beginning, where the opening. So obviously T'Challa dies off screen because unfortunately they couldn't film anything like that.
Reasons as well.
Yeah.
But help.
Yeah. Which is like in canon, there's got to be like some guy who's just like pissed off, like you were gone for 5 years, come back for like a day, and then die, like But yeah, it's just unfortunate. But his funeral though, it was I got mixed feelings from it.
It's a celebration of life. I know what you're getting at. They seem too happy, and they
seem way too happy.
It's more,
but it's like. is that like part of like the culture or like okay?
It's like a celebration of life type.
Because like they're all like everyone's like smiling and laughing and like because that's so far from like Western culture where like everyone's supposed to be sad and like that's just it makes sense to me.
That's
but
the only
like
way we know how to grieve in a way. There's different ways of grieving and everything.
And then but like everyone like all the pallbearers they're like crying obviously because they're the family. Mm-hmm. So it's like I don't know. It was just kind of like shorthand.
Well, I
like,
also think in like the like when the Black Panther first shows up in Captain America: Civil War, he says to
Steve?
No, Black Widow that he says death, is
not the end.
Is not the end in my culture.
Oh, okay.
And so like I think that like I mean I'm part Nigerian, so like they do tend to look at like your life and death, like death is just another step, and that they'll see you again, and that like the whole funeral was more like a celebration of his life. They're thankful for the time they had with him. They don't see it as like this is the end all be all. Like they can see him as now he's with the ancestors.
Yeah,
now he's
I was shown
now,
with
now he's
Killmonger
watching over them, and could be like a guiding force for the family.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, the ancestral plane.
Yeah.
It's been a big theme for like Marvel in general lately.
They've had a lot of afterlives.
A lot of afterlives, and a lot of them kind of overlap too. Like the Moon Knight one kind of overlaps with the Black Panther ancestral plane. Like they kind of seem to overlap a little bit.
Yeah, I like that Marvel's like. I mean, this is probably just like to not piss off any one religion, but like they're including all of them. Like all the afterlives are a thing if you believe in that thing.
And
so
Thor, Love and Thunder also have
Valhalla.
Valhalla. Yep.
Yep.
So interesting.
It's an interesting route to take, and I'm kind of glad they're doing it. Like they're kind of at least admitting it exists, and there's a higher type of power dynamic. Yeah, that's the word. That's the official term.
Well, I mean, it's just it feels like with Marvel or with comic books in general, there's always some sort of like bigger. I'm not saying like higher power, but like bigger bad. There's always someone who's stronger.
Yeah.
Always someone who's just in the background looming that they haven't discovered for
Always
millions of years. Yeah, like
to quote Qui-Gon Jinn, there's always a bigger fish.
There is. Yeah. So like I'm just waiting to see like Galactus hasn't been introduced.
Oh yeah, I think he's way down the line though, or maybe when we get into like Fantastic Four,
maybe when we get into after Secret Wars, and
but even that guy, there's the Beyonder in that one, and then we already got Eternity, which is sort of like
we'll see where it goes.
You know what I mean?
See where it goes.
I just wondering like who's like the head guy, Who is it?
Stanley.
It's just like there was a theory a while ago where for the explanation for all his cameos was that he was
the Watcher.
Yeah, he's the Watcher. Yeah. Sorry, I can't hear out of this right ear because I had an ear infection. I still can't hear.
Yeah, no, I keep making fun. Oh, yeah, that's what I was gonna make fun of you for.
Oh yeah,
deaf. Yeah.
That's not my fault though. Like you're like, oh, you do some stupid shit. Like
we get introduced to Namor.
Oh yeah.
He comes in with a bang, and there's these sirens that come out of the water. Start like people start like leaping into their deaths. Just like
that's like just like morbid. Super OP power. Like
that it's really cool because like that I didn't expect that at all. It's like
yeah.
And I know Namor is a very powerful mutant. Get to that a little bit.
Yeah, he definitely referenced himself as a mutant.
Yes, cool. Yeah, they actually said the M-word, folks. They said mutant in this, not mutation, like in
Miss Marvel.
In Miss Marvel, they said mutant, and I'm like,
I'm a mutant. Yeah. Boom. Yeah. Said and done.
I looked at Dan, and was like,
oh shit, they're coming.
They said it. But yes, so he basically just like they're mining for vibranium in the ocean, and the.
He doesn't like that too much.
He don't like that.
Which is so like I'm confused on like how. So they get the CIA or the FBI or the
CIA.
U.S.
CIA.
CIA. Yeah. They get this device
Vibranium detector, yeah.
from
whatever.
a teenage girl in Massachusetts.
Well, I think so. I think she Riri Williams, and like she invented it, but then I think it was just for a class, and I think her professor might have sold it.
Oh,
CIA. Like,
okay.
They didn't really explain that.
That makes more sense because it's like she doesn't really know anything about
It's
it.
probably going to come into play in the
And-
Ironheart series.
Yeah, probably.
Because I expect Shuri to show up in that show as well.
Yeah, because it's like
Yeah.
what the fuck, like
yes.
it's like I love when they said like it looks like it was like strapped together by things from a junkyard. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I know where this is going. Yeah,
But yeah, let's talk about Riri Williams next, because she's fantastic.
I'm
very
surprised
Peter
that I liked her.
Parker-esque. Oh my god,
Yeah.
she's so funny. Like Shuri Okoye and her.
Yeah, the scene
have
in the
such
dorm
great
room.
chemistry.
Yeah.
So well done. Oh my god.
I love it. She was like, "Am I being recruited by Wakanda?" She's like, "No."
Shit, damn it.
She's like, oh, let me just go to the bathroom real quick. And then
Yeah.
Okoye just comes out
Koya's like, yeah, I don't fucking think so. Yeah,
You're taking too long. We gotta go.
yeah. She's like, I
5
gave you 5 minutes, but I gave you 6.
Yeah.
so good. And yeah, Dominique Thorne is just really. She also went for the Shuri role back.
Oh,
when
she did?
The first
Okay.
Black Panther was casting.
Okay.
I
I
like
definitely
her,
think Letitia Wright's the good pick for that.
she's a good pick for sure.
But,
And Riri Williams nails this performance.
Oh, yeah.
I am very excited for the Ironheart series just because of this kind of backdoor pilot for her.
Yeah.
And they nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. And
yeah, because I was worried that like she would be another protege of Tony, and I'm like, because like we've already gotten that with Ty Simpkins. I don't even know his name, and then Peter Parker. If we have another person like that, like
Are
it
we
would
gonna-
just feels,
there's a chance the Young Avengers kind of cross over there. That could be kind of cool to see. I don't know how they're gonna do that, but
maybe.
the next spot.
I mean, so maybe they recruit Spider-Man, but because nobody knows Peter Parker, but everyone knows that Spider-Man's still a
I don't know if
thing.
Sony's gonna play that well.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
isn't he get scheduled for just one more? I think one more cameo.
He did reportedly just sign another contract.
Oh, okay.
For another trilogy. And
He's got to
some more
hand the
cameos.
mantle off eventually, right? Like,
I'm okay
because
with him keep going.
honestly, I'm fine with Tom Holland doing as many movies as he wants, but like that's just kind of the thing that happens with like all these main superhero actors. They always sign up for like a trilogy and then they're done.
Yeah.
And like we said in the Batman podcast, I want Robert Pattinson's Batman to have a TV show or something, because the character lends itself so much better to a TV show instead of being like, oh, he's been doing this for so many years. We've only seen 3 movies from him in 3 different time periods, and some of them are always like back to back. So it's like, so like I like the idea that like Tom Holland Spider-Man has kind of been over like a 7-year period at this point.
Yeah.
But I'd like to see him in college or just being an adult, because we haven't really exactly got that yet.
Well, we will in the next trilogy probably. So
Yeah. And then if Miles Morales wants to come in at the end, that's cool.
I mean, we got his uncle.
we got to get Miles.
We got his
Morales
uncle,
back.
which is unfortunate for Donald Glover, because he would have been perfect like 10 years ago.
And there's
I mean-
also speculation that he shows up in Across the Spider-Verse. So just say we might get
Yeah,
that.
that's true.
Like Tom Holland.
That'd be
might
cool.
show
Oh, like
up
he
there.
sees like Miles sees his
or
old
he could show
self.
up in Secret
Animated
Wars.
version of Tom Holland. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, you're saying Tom Holland's going to show up in the newest animated one?
Across the
Okay.
Spider-Verse.
Oh, yeah, I could see that
okay, I can see
happening.
that, yeah.
Yeah, that could be cool. That-
Or the guy who voices him in the
in
the
the
What If
video
show
game,
and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yuri's got to show up.
Yuri's gotta
That's
show up.
just so cool.
Dude, that movie's got me hyped too. All right, we're on Spider-Man now. Let's get out there
Black
before
Panther.
I start like
Oh, well,
going full
one
on.
thing I did like with Namor was that like, because they wanted to distinguish him a lot from Aquaman, they used the Aztec,
Mayan.
Mayan,
Aztec Mayan, yep.
Mayan influence. Like, surprisingly, what is it? How you say?
Talokan.
Calican, yeah.
Yeah, the city.
I was gonna say Atlantis, but I was like, no.
Yeah. They can't
Yeah, it's
do
like the
Atlantis.
fake Atlantis.
That's a DC thing.
Talokan was like very like still in the like
Yeah.
ancient period, and like wasn't as advanced as Wakanda or anything.
They
And it was interesting that like I'm just gonna call them Atlanteans, but they were blue outside of the water, but then
Yes.
Yeah, I
when they were
noticed
in
that.
the water they were like normal skin tone. And I was like, oh, that's an interesting choice.
It's a nice touch.
Yeah.
Because it works well for them, and like they can't breathe without those water masks that they have on.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to Riri Williams, Shuri, and Okoye in a street chase now, getting chased by CIA. That scene, so well done.
I like that. I think it's like it's probably my favorite action scene in the movie. Yeah.
Yeah, and then her putting the spear through the back of the car and then flipping the cop car, that was sick. And then when the water bombs go off, and the slow motion in this movie is so well crafted, so well done, man.
I like the one line by one of the CIA agents when they're like breaking in the door. He's like, "Oh shoot, she's got an Iron Man."
What was the line? There was like one of the cops like at the end of the chase. He says something stupid and just gets like instantly taken out. Like, what did she say?
When Atuma and all them come out.
Yeah, he's like, does she have a gun or something? He just gets,
Blue or something like that. No,
yeah, are they blue? He gets stabbed.
I think that's what it was. Yeah. But yes. After that, like that, apparently that bridge scene took 4 months to shoot.
Really?
Just the bridge scene.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because they had to do so many reshoots and everything on it for some unknown reason. But that's something I read. I was like, wow, that it looked really good. Like it's pretty flawless on first watch. As I just said, it took 4 hours or 4
months.
4 months to do that.
Took 4 hours to do it. No
4
big deal.
hours, man. 4 hours.
I mean, they're
Half a work day.
Work day. Professionalism at its finest. But yeah, that was mostly shot in Worcester, which isn't too far from here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember seeing, we did some stories on that at work.
Oh, yeah, I do remember
saying
that.
Black Panther was shooting. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. Oh, awesome. Worcester's getting some representation.
Why is Black Panther?
Okay.
Yeah. So that was really cool. And yeah, so basically Shuri and Riri get kidnapped. Okoye gets stripped of her general rank by Angela Bassett, and that scene is my favorite one by her in this movie.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, because it's like you care about. Obviously, you care about.
Shuri.
Sure, no, not Shuri. The queen, Ramonda, Ramonda, and then Okoye. You care about. I care more about Okoye because like she's probably my favorite character in the movie. Yeah. So I'm like, because she's like so. She's been like the right hand man for like every Black Panther.
Yeah.
For like 3 generations now. So like it's just like she cares so much specifically about that role, like being the guard or the head of the Dora Milaje. Yeah. So when she gets stripped,
they call her general. Sorry.
Yeah.
The general.
She was a general.
She's
Yes.
a general.
So she gets stripped of that, and like she's like, she got nothing.
Please.
You know?
Yeah.
She's like, may I speak? And then she just like, this is all she has. Like this is what she's worked her entire life for. This is what she loves doing, and it's like.
And like, so I understand Ramonda's side of it, where she's like, where she has that awesome speech, she's like, I'm the queen of the most powerful nation.
My entire family.
Yeah.
And she's like, and you could see the one single tear go from her too. It's like, oh my god, like
it's like I get it,
but
it's like, and then meanwhile it cuts to Shuri just kept chilling with Namor, like she's thinking she's in mortal danger, and like Okoye gets stripped of her thing, like her only thing, and then justice for Okoye. That's all I'm saying.
Justice for Okoye.
Yeah.
Well, that Midnight Angel will have to live another day.
Yeah.
Yes. So.
Well, yeah, she gets a promotion then.
She gets a promotion, but we'll get to that.
She'll be on her own mini superhero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next thing, so Namor and Shuri start talking, and then we go into Namor's backstory, which was also really well done. I loved every part of that. It was really well crafted, a really well crafted story.
I liked. Well, like they really closed up a lot of loose ends questions that I had. With being like, one, why are they blue? Are they like human?
Why does he have wings on his feet?
Why does he got wings? So
Red Bull gives you wings.
But the one kind of question I have for that is like, so we know that the Talocans,
Yeah.
like the people, they were human.
Yeah.
Then they drank vibranium and became this way.
It's another like heart herb, but it's the Mayan version of the heart herb that also.
Well, but I think
like different soil. It's the soil.
I think it was still vibranium though.
Yeah.
I think it's the soil though too.
Yeah.
like the soil that's growing.
Well, they grab a flower coming out of a rock, which is the vibranium.
Which is underwater.
And then they harvest like a.
They do it the same way.
Like a fluid.
The heart herb, yes.
Yeah.
And
so, is it the same thing as the heart herb, or like?
I think it's similar. It's just like a different cultural
variant,
version
maybe,
of it.
yeah.
Because it's
Okay.
underwater, so they get all the underwater type powers.
Oh,
you would
okay, that
say.
might be.
That's
My
what I'm
question is
getting
like the Black Panther. If Namor can, or if like they can breathe water, like the people can breathe water that drink this.
Yeah.
The Black Panther drinks the heart herb to get their powers. So am I wrong in thinking that they?
Well, but so I think the difference is like Dan's saying, it's cultivated underwater.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
And probably the soil. So
Yeah.
And
like the fact that one's in Africa, one's underwater.
And there's also the serpent god. So I think that was put there by him as well. So they get those types of powers. Like, the whole god thing with, Khonshu and Moon Knight and Bast in the Black Panther. Now, this is the version that Namor gets from, I can't remember the name of the god.
Kukulkan?
No, that's
that's his name.
That's his name. But
Or did he like take that name
but,
or whatever?
But they called him
Kukulkan. Kukulkan. Yes, that is the name of the serpent
I think
god.
that is the name of
the feathered serpent
the
god.
feathered serpent god. So I
He's
think
just, like,
his
representing
people
that?
saw him as that
Yes.
god, but
I mean, he's
think
got the
technically-
feathers and
Yeah.
But basically, he is a god to them because he's a
he's-
mutant. He can do.
right.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
so that's
So he's a god mutant.
It's another
You
one-
guys are on the same page, right?
that's the whole thing they're getting at basically.
Yeah. Okay. So then now I just have kind of logical questions. Where like, if you have a kid, so say Talakan has a kid, gives birth to them underwater, they have to drink it, or are they just like kind of like preset with it?
So I feel like it's probably passed down through the
I would
DNA
think
at
so
that
as well.
point.
I would think so as well because they're
Right.
underwater.
I mean, because like otherwise the kid's
it's in
gonna
their
suffocate.
DNA.
Yeah.
Now. I changed their DNA because they're mutated.
Yeah,
to do that.
I think he did say that. Like they drank it, then they like fell asleep, and they woke up,
Yeah.
and then they all went underwater, and then they just stayed underwater.
Yeah.
So I'm
Okay.
and like we saw kids, like when Namor was giving Shuri like the tour, we saw little kids and
Yeah.
adults. So I think their civilization has just now existed.
They
in
just
those,
like have it
underwater
now.
caves. Yeah.
Alright.
Yep.
And then Namor's different because he was
'Cause he's also a
conceived
mutant.
before
He was.
it was a mutation.
She was
in his-
pregnant before she took it.
Yeah.
And then he got changed in the womb. I guess that's where the
It's
like
mutation occurred.
Okay.
That's what I'm assuming it is.
Okay, that makes sense.
But that's just. Yeah. Origin.
At the end of the day,
origin. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's still pretty cool though.
Yeah.
And then to see how he got his motivation for just like hating everybody and then wanting to stay
Hating-
isolationist, much like Wakanda was in the beginning. That obviously hit.
Yeah.
And then so like I like his motivation for like wanting to stay, but like he's very much a Killmonger.
He wants to destroy
Like
the surface world.
yeah.
Yes.
So he's like thinking like 3 steps ahead where it's like, obviously he doesn't trust anybody on the surface and then they're looking for vibranium. So he like assumes what they're going to do. And I guess that's what the plan is anyway. But like, so he's just not giving them a chance to even think about that. So, that's cool. But like Wakanda is like more like, at least T'Challa was more like open hearted and like, like as long as we don't like let it get too out of hand, we're okay.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of like debate whether between like, obviously this is the debate between T'Challa and Killmonger again, where it's like, do we stay isolationist or, do we, so it's like, now I'm thinking about it, like, so what was T'Challa's plan? Because it's like,
Well, I think he was like just optimistic. Well, because one, he saw the infighting that like Killmonger was able to like I guess get people to his side. That maybe we shouldn't be so isolated from the world.
yeah.
And
But he wanted to rule the world. Like Killmonger wanted to like take over the world.
I think Killmonger really just wanted to like be an anarchist. I don't think he really had a plan.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Well, either way, as I'm saying, he wanted to fight everybody.
Yeah.
T'Challa obviously wanted to keep the peace.
Yeah.
But then he opened up the borders, or like just let everyone know, like, hey, we got all this shit.
Yeah.
But then, like, is it wrong for me to just assume that like the nations would be like, oh, well, share it with us? Isn't that what you're doing?
But I think that's what T'Challa kind of implied that they were gonna.
Yeah.
Because like
They were going to use it for
they were
good.
gonna use it. They were gonna use it for the good of the whole world.
And
Right.
not for warfare.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
Okay, so now
because Killmonger was like, we have these weapons.
Yeah.
Like the
Right.
whole world should be bowing to our feet.
Yeah, but so now all the United Nations, they want the vibranium for
yeah.
war.
Yeah. Well, because it's like.
Okay, so that's just what I just didn't get that from that, because like the Ramonda comes in and she's like, we're not going to give you any of it. I thought that that when Wakanda was opened up by T'Challa, they would just be spreading the vibranium to advance like medical science shit, advancements in technology, but then there's no real way to regulate on Wakanda's end to make sure that doesn't go to the militaries.
Yeah.
So then, like, I don't know.
Well,
It's a good gesture, but it's
also,
like
I have heard that I think Ryan Coogler's working on a Wakanda series. Mm-hmm. So maybe we'll get some answers in that. Because like
cool.
right now it is, you're making a good point. It is very vague. Like even when those soldiers like stormed, I guess that research place or whatever, like we didn't know what they were doing wherever they were. Like
they were just
they just had like vibranium tools.
Yeah, they were just out in the middle of the open waters, and I don't know. Maybe I'm not sure if I poked a hole or not, but like hopefully they had an answer. But
well, they got a continuity guy at Marvel now, so they're gonna have to figure that out.
Yeah, but the continuity guy, I'm not saying anything against Marvel, but the continuity guy at Star Wars is a dick. So, and he doesn't know like half the shit. Like,
I don't think they have a continuity.
He lets
guy at
Dave
Star Wars.
Filoni just rewrite everybody else's work and shit. I like Star Wars, but just like. You guys are a mess,
So
Nakia,
Nakia again.
Yeah.
So she's now living in Haiti, and she
School teacher.
Yeah, she's a school teacher.
Yeah, she's a school teacher in Haiti, and Ramonda comes to beg her to bring up her spy days again and go look for Shuri. Mm-hmm. So they rescue Shuri, obviously, and Riri, and while doing so,
pisses
kill
off
a few Talokan. However you want to say that.
I don't know.
I don't know how to say. I don't know how to make them.
And now Namor is pissed.
Yeah, he's like, yo, you killed this. So it's an act of
actually,
war.
that was one inconsistency I did see people bringing up online. Is that like on the bridge, like Okoye, she stabs a bunch of them, but they get back up.
Oh yeah.
But like when Nakia rescues Shuri and Riri, she shoots one of them and she dies. So the theory I heard is that maybe because
something about the water, or it was the weapon
because she was
had.
at like point blank range and shatter. I don't know.
They mentioned something very briefly about that. He's like, it was point blank range. She'll die. And let's go.
Yeah.
So that might be
that
it.
is true. Because like I'm assuming.
I mean, yeah, but like there's one scene.
I'm assuming Okoye like she's using vibranium against them. So maybe.
Yes.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe they negate each other. I don't know.
Maybe
It's very loose.
Yeah.
It's very loose.
No blood
It's
either.
like fatal wounds to me, fatal stabbings to me, but.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, it is Disney. If lightsabers can impale people.
There was no
multiple
blood. I
times,
will say that there was no blood. So
there wasn't any blood. Yeah, not even when Shuri gets impaled. It's clearly, and it shows her getting off it. It's just no blood. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
It's PG-13. It's
PG-13.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Moving forward, so Namor is now in Wakanda. He's pissed, and rightfully so. So Wakanda goes in defense positions and everything.
He fucking
Shuri-
blitzes them though. Huh? Blitzes them. Just goes right in.
Straight up blitzes
shows everyone who's boss, and just
There's this one really cool slow-mo scene with M'Baku that I was just like, ooh.
Oh, where he gets that chest plate.
Punched. And another great use of slow-mo that they used in this movie. Oh my
I
God.
love it after he's like, he's as strong as the Hulk.
Oh yeah,
What do you got?
I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably didn't hear it.
Shut up.
But yes,
Dick.
so but yeah, Ramonda, I like how she's actually controlling part of like the ships from the tower, which was cool. I didn't see that before.
Yeah, she like lifts
Like-
off the transports and stuff with her.
Yeah,
you know.
that was kind of cool. But then Namor comes up and
They're like water bomb.
water
Yeah.
bombs, and her and Riri go down
Yeah.
and basically drown
Yeah.
for more or less, and the queen is dead. God rest the queen. God save the queen. Oh wait.
Whoa.
I don't know if I should say that, but it's fine.
Yeah, so she dies. I didn't think they'd have the balls.
You didn't think they'd have the balls to kill her off.
Because it's like, you already had like one extensive funeral, which is deserved, obviously. But
Yeah.
and then you're gonna like they're turning Shuri into like the new Thor, where she's just losing everybody. You
Yeah.
know? And it's like,
Well, yeah.
oof, bro.
And man, it's rough. I thought they were going. I did think they were going to kill off Angela Bassett before this movie, but I also thought they would have killed off M'Baku or something. And
No, not
that would have been
M'Baku.
even ballsier to kill him off.
I like him.
I know.
Yeah, he's a fan
He's a
favorite.
vegetarian.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like he somehow like based on like one small performance in the first Black Panther, now he's like, he got his own poster, his character poster on like
Yeah.
Infinity War.
Yeah.
It's like he's in the movie for like 2 minutes, like
There is a, I guess, a thing going around that the original draft of Wakanda Forever had him as the villain.
Wow. Well, I mean, that makes sense. And so his character in the comics, his tribe, they're always trying to,
The Jabari.
the Jabari, they're always trying to like become the next tribe that's in charge of Wakanda. So like, in the comics, he's known as I think he's like the man ape or like the what, like the
Yes.
the gorilla tribe or whatever.
Yeah.
Like he is always like at the opposite of T'Challa. Like they're always
Right.
battling for the crown, so to speak.
Yeah, so that's what they were doing in the first one.
Yeah.
He obviously fights him in combat to claim or to
Yeah,
prove
to-
that he's
to-
the Black Panther in the beginning.
Right.
And then they kind of patch up their thing, but like I wouldn't really believe it if they went that route, because like in Infinity War he's just like, it's a really short scene, but he's just like he calls him brother and stuff. Like they're all
Yeah.
chill now,
And especially in this one, it made it even more evident that he is not out to harm Wakanda
Yeah.
in any way.
Although
So,
he is funny, he gets a couple jabs in there.
More of
though.
like an uncle to Shuri in this
yeah,
one. Yeah.
yeah.
bald-headed demon.
Yeah.
That's such a great line.
Yeah, he's walking in with the carrot. Oh, man. Hilarious.
Isn't he from like upstate?
Yeah, he's from Rochester.
Oh, he is?
Or he went to
Okay.
school in Rochester, I believe.
Nice.
Yeah, that's another cool thing.
That's really cool. But yeah, like I like how he gets a couple jabs in.
Yeah.
Just when like right before Shuri comes in as Black Panther, he's just like, you people like are always like, there's so many people coming in.
Yeah.
We need to figure shit out. Like, what, you're just gonna be more? So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's all pissed off.
He's great. But
He's like,
yes.
get off my lawn.
Yeah.
But yes, so the queen is dead. There's a nice scene between M'Baku and Shuri at the funeral where he's just like, yeah, you just got to figure out who you got to be. The bracelet that Namor gives her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
so we know there's
made
no
from
expiration date on
It's made from the
vibration.
soil.
Yes, man.
In the soil of where the heart herb was made for there, I guess. So
Yeah, they show real quick, like they dip the strings in like the vibranium heart herb, and then wrap it around Namor's mom's wrist, right? And then yeah.
So then, she finds a way, a
Yeah, so
98%
extract it.
match to
Yeah.
Yeah.
correct it and make the heart herb. And if it glows,
Well,
she makes
I think
it.
it's
and-
artificial.
Yes, it is artificial.
Yeah, artificial heart herb.
And-
But I think at the end they did show her growing a new one, so it's enough for them to
it's a continue
Create
the
a new-
legacy.
Yeah.
I didn't even remember that they that Killmonger burned all of them.
Yeah.
So like they I mean, they probably drove it home in the first place, but like the whole time, like I wasn't thinking like this is like like Wakanda's screwed. Obviously, if T'Challa dies, and then he's so yeah, it's interesting.
Speaking of Killmonger,
Yeah.
she goes into the ancestral plane as she does when she drinks the herb. Who do we expect her to see?
I was expecting to
Angela
see her
Bassett.
mom. Yeah, I was expecting to see her
Angela
mom.
Bassett or really.
But I saw like
CGI Chadwick Boseman.
dark hair,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
it's like it could be her dad.
I was super
but,
surprised
like,
when I saw
Michael B. Jordan,
Yeah.
baby.
Killmonger. I was like, oh wow.
I was so happy to see him because that had been rumored for months, and I'm so
Yeah.
happy it was him.
And now I think Michael Jordan, he still holds the record of like being in every Ryan Coogler movie. Still,
Oh, okay.
right?
Yep,
Because he Fruitvale, Creed 1, 2,
3 eventually.
eventually 3. Yeah.
Well, but 3's directed by
Oh, right,
Michael B.
yeah,
Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan, yeah,
Yeah.
true. That's true. But
Wait.
I think
Did he do Creed 2? Did Ryan Coogler do Creed?
No.
and he didn't.
He just produced it. He just
okay.
directed it.
So he'll probably just
Yeah.
be producing 3 as well then.
Yeah. Because I think he might have been working on Black Panther.
It would make
Yeah,
sense.
probably.
Creed.
Obviously, he's Black Panther,
Yeah.
but
That's probably how he got Michael B.
Yeah.
Jordan to be in this.
Yeah.
So yeah, it makes sense. But yeah, so then we get a really great scene between Shuri and
Killmonger.
Killmonger. Yeah, jeez.
Yeah.
So fiery scene.
well, obviously, because there's fire everywhere.
Yes, but there was fire everywhere, but it also called back to the first one where he's burning their herbs. It looked very similar in
Yeah.
structure to that. I was like, I see what you're doing.
So it's like it seems like they were like doing a
Burn
kind
the
of like
world.
a half kind of like she's trying to give in to what Killmonger's all about by taking revenge. She's doing the, I guess, on the table like bad thing.
But then the back of her head, it's her brother and her mother.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Which road do you take, basically?
Yeah.
yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah,
Because like at that point she still hasn't mourned Chadwick. She's still like she's now lost her mom and her brother. She's like she feels
Thor
super
syndrome.
alone.
Thor syndrome.
Like I think even when she goes to
you're good.
when she goes to like because the scene where like Namor shows up out of the water, like they're burning their funeral clothes or whatever, and she says
she doesn't burn
says to her
hers.
mom like if I set this on fire, I want to set the whole world on fire. So she's definitely dealing with feelings and emotions that she's just pushed
She
aside.
thinks about her brother for too long.
Yeah.
In the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I understand, but it's like she's directing her anger at like the wrong people. Obviously, the world isn't the cause of his death.
she's
It's
still
well, we know it's an
grieving.
illness.
She's still grieving.
Yeah,
And
I'm
she didn't
I'm
really
just saying.
get a chance to mourn,
Yeah.
I guess.
And she was like she wasn't by his side when he passed away. She was in the
Well, yeah,
lab
she was too
trying
busy,
to-
trying to fix the issue,
Yeah.
and then
thinking she had more time than she really did.
She didn't.
Yeah.
I like how they kind of reveal that too. We're just like, she's like, "What's my brother's heart rate?" He's like, "It's 31 beats per minute," and then
And they didn't answer, and then Angela Bassett comes in.
yeah, and she's like, "What's it?" It's like
With
nothing.
the ancestors.
Yeah.
Like shit.
But yes, so now we get to the big final battle and everything. I just want to talk about Namor and Shuri here. Like they're the only. Oh, and I guess Midnight Angel. So we get the appearance of that, and
Yeah, they kind of teased for the whole thing, and
Yeah.
then so I don't love the design of that suit. I think the prosthetic dreads in the back they make it look less practical because like isn't that why they're bald? Like all the Dora Milaje, like I thought that was like the in canon like explanation of like why they're bald, so they don't have the dreads getting in the way of when they're fighting.
I don't know.
I don't know if there's an explanation for it.
If anybody knows, please let us know because
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
don't.
Anyway, I just thought it didn't look like aesthetically pleasing to me. I don't know.
Gotcha. But yeah, so in the comics, the Midnight Angels, yeah, they're basically right now it's oh shit, I had it. It's Io and who's the other lady? Io and Aneka.
Yeah.
Those are the two that are
The Midnight
the
Angels?
main Midnight Angels in the comics right now. I like that it's Okoye because give her something to do. And actually make her, useful, unfortunately, because she lost everything.
Yeah.
It made sense for her character.
I like to see like kind of a mini series with Okoye because it was sad to see that she wasn't
Maybe
in.
get a Midnight Angel show.
That could be a thing.
That could be cool.
Midnight Suns, Midnight Angels. Yeah.
Yes. And the one thing I found is that in the comics, the Midnight Angels, one of the biggest foes is Doctor Doom.
Oh, really?
And they team up with
Tie it together
Deadpool
that way.
to defeat him.
Interesting.
When he intends to take over.
Oh,
Wakanda.
I love that. Like
That's
Okoye and
interesting team up.
Deadpool going at it.
Yeah.
That'd be lit.
Oh,
That could be a cool thing.
Deadpool's gonna get on her nerves. Like,
Maybe that's how they start Secret Wars. When
Yeah.
he tries to take over Wakanda and then ends up making Battleworld and everything. That would be.
That would be
could
cool.
That could be really cool.
I'm interested to see what they do with Secret Wars because like that's such a comic book out there idea.
Yeah.
It's so like we have this event, let's put this together.
Yeah.
There's like no actual like
Want to
real
make it
world
even bigger
stakes.
than Endgame and bring in the Fox Fantastic Four, the X-Men from
Yeah.
Fox
Yeah.
too. Like, it's gonna be wild. It's gonna be
Chris Evans comes back as
Chris
Human
Evans
Torch.
as the Human Torch and Cap.
yeah, that'd be cool.
Wild.
I know.
Be like, hey, that guy coming
It's
like you,
like,
but he's
oh,
on fire.
He's on fire though.
Shit.
Michael B. Jordan as the Human Torch.
Yeah, you're just like,
Oh
wait a
my
minute, you're
God,
Cap,
it's like-
you're Killmonger.
Killmonger? No, I'm Johnny Storm.
That is so funny. So much.
Wait a minute, I'm Johnny
shit
Storm,
right
and then
there.
then the new guy comes in. He's like, no, I'm Johnny Storm. Or no, Jamie, or no, wait, no, Michael B. Jordan was okay. Well, are they? What are they? Have they oh, is Dacre? Is he Human Torch? The new one?
No, there's
yeah,
no.
I don't think any
Jacob
casting
Montgomery.
been
No,
announced.
nobody's been cast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still,
I
a lot
keep
of fan
hearing
theories.
Cheaty from Happy Place is going to be.
And
I keep saying Happy Place, the good place.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hey, that's a great casting.
I
of
was
that
like, Happy
shit.
Place. I was
It's
like,
a
I don't know what
great-
that is.
I keep saying that whenever I talk. I'm like, yeah, the Happy Place. I don't know.
Great show. If anybody hasn't seen it, watch it.
It is good. Yeah. Good place.
But yeah, I mean, we could fan cast all day about this, but let's continue with Black Panther because we're running out of time here. So yeah, we get to the final battle. Let's mainly talk about Shuri and what's his face?
Namor.
That's his name.
What's his face, you know?
What's his nuts? Yeah. So
For the fight between Shuri,
Shuri
and
and-
Namor,
Yeah.
I did think, like, even though Shuri does have a super strength, I did think, like, Namor was, kicking her ass, like.
he
like-
was kicking her ass on the
like,
beach.
I was like, yeah, like he's got like maybe 100 pounds on you or
Yeah.
more than that. And I was
She's
just like,
barely 100 pounds soaking wet.
yeah.
So,
So I was like, yeah, this isn't like evenly matched at all.
no.
Yeah,
But-
she's using the claws a lot, though.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, she used the claws a lot. She stripped off one of his wings.
Wings,
Yeah. I love at the end. He's got like a little ace bandage on it. You know?
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Charlie horse. But
I did like that. Like they figured out his weakness like before the final fight, and
Yeah.
they're like, all right, we just got to dry him out. And so like they put him in the basically humidifier. They turn the ship into a humidifier, and then they throw him in the desert. So I was like, all right,
she
that's
straight
smart.
up burns him.
Yeah.
Whoa. I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh, is he dead? They're going to kill him off? They should not do that.
Yeah.
I'm
I
glad
mean,
they
like
did.
he must have been in like serious pain because I've walked on hot sand before. Like imagine like fighting in it after you're like
Of
in
course,
the
roughing gets everywhere.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was a really good final battle for the most part.
Yeah, the fight on the ship. Yeah, with M'Baku, like they get kind of cornered.
Yeah.
It's
you
a
know, it's like
fight.
we need to take them. It's like we're gonna come down
but
with us.
It looks like Wakanda lost a lot of numbers.
yeah.
It
compared
does.
to-
It does. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they still had like an army, back at Wakanda, but
They did
the forces
say
that they brought definitely.
yeah. Namor was saying the Telecons could take them any day because they got numbers.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Just think about like they're like. I mean, I assume it's not just the city of Talakan. It's like I assume they have a whole like
Yeah.
country at least under
Yeah.
the water.
And they
You
got
know?
all these secret passages, like with
Right.
whatever they're called, the whirlpool.
Yeah, like
And also, who's,
highway system they
who's
got
to
going
say
on.
they haven't spread out to other other parts of oceans?
Yeah.
like we get focused on Talokan, but there could be,
There's
a
got- yeah.
little
multitude-
suburbs.
yeah,
Yeah.
other
Imagine like
other undersea kingdoms that they could call upon. or-
yeah.
True.
So,
It's
but
like-
yeah, like 70% of the world is covered in water.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Well, and think about it, like he had been alive since like I don't know the 1600s, whenever
Yeah.
colonization,
Yeah.
1400s maybe.
1500s.
Yeah, so
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
He's definitely been around for a long time. I doubt he just stayed to that one little.
True.
Wait, oh my God, it just clicked with me. Did they just explain the Mayans' disappearance?
Oh yeah,
in this movie.
kind of.
Yeah.
Like they were making the calendar just stopped after 2012 because they all fucking drank the vibranium and they had to be in the water. They didn't have any like utensils
Dude,
and
I didn't
shit.
even think about
Yeah,
that, but
I
that
didn't think
makes
of
that makes sense.
Yeah.
That tracks.
So basically, they go there all the separate routes. Oh yeah, by the way, Everett Ross is getting in trouble with his ex-wife, who's the director of the CIA,
Yeah, she
getting
bugged-
arrested because he
she
has
Bugged the bracelet somehow.
yeah he has treasonous
She had a plan all along.
conversations.
She's 5 steps ahead of everyone.
Yeah,
and that's
she's going to be
scary.
formidable when it comes down to it.
Thunderbolts.
That's actually probably the one thing I would have.
I'm just calling her Madam Hydra.
Madam Hydra. Yeah, what if she does that? Yeah, what if she brings back Hydra somehow
God.
again?
Hydra.
That's something I would have like either they half-assed that part of the story, so I would have either included more of it or not included it at all.
Yeah.
Like we were saying in the car, like I do think it's important to have a representation of like the rest of the world, like what the threat
Future
there,
MCU.
yeah, because that's the whole point why Wakanda and Talokan go up against each other, because they're like, these third parties doing this shit, so we got to have some sort of put faces to the names, so they should have included that a little more. That's all I'm saying.
I agree. It took away from some of the story, I think, in parts, but they have to put it in. It doesn't bother me as a fan of Marvel because I like to see what's coming next and
Yeah.
things they're setting up for.
Yeah.
But as an average viewer who's not like in tune or caught up with all 20 Disney Plus shows and everything, like they're not gonna know. They're like, why does this have to be here?
Yeah, they're like,
Who cares? Who is this woman?
Why is Louise Dreyfus here?
Exactly. Like,
Why does she have a purple streak through her hair?
Yeah.
like people don't. A lot of people won't know.
That's
Like,
what the end credit scene is made for.
Yeah.
Because it's after the actual main story that you went to pay money to see, and then it's like, oh, look at this little thing we're doing after.
little tease.
The only times that I've really seen it inside the movie and done right was when they had like in Iron Man 2 they have like a real a fake version of Cap's shield where like the lift up Iron Man's like he was working on some shit.
Yeah, I know.
It's real simple, here and gone in a minute. So you're not gonna be thinking about it that much, but they're teasing it.
Yeah.
It doesn't pull away from the story like this one because you have multiple scenes
Yeah.
with this. So I don't know.
But yeah. So then
Riri's back in. Is she back in Massachusetts?
Yep, she went back
She went
to-
to Chicago, actually.
Well, that's where she lives. She lives in Chicago, but she goes to school in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Speaking of her though, she gotta be like, she fucking fought a battle. And she's just like, I mean, she's a genius, but like, she's just like a regular person from a completely different country fighting with these people.
Yeah.
She's like, I got no stake in this. Like the U.S. government took my thing. Now I'm in this.
Well, I mean, but to be fair, for her knowledge, Namor was still coming for her.
Yeah, yeah.
So the CIA,
She's like,
so.
she's like, all right, well, I'll get you before you get me, kind of thing, or I'll get you back.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was like she was just uprooted from like her entire life.
Yeah.
She's like, can I at least call my mom? Like, I got I got a class tomorrow.
What does the school think?
Yeah, like she
Like,
just
did they check
disappears.
in, or like,
She was gone at least.
Like, is there like a
yeah, at least 2 weeks.
Like that's crazy.
like is there a fucking like missing persons report
Right.
on her or something?
Yeah, and they said she's like, can
Well,
I call
no,
my mom? And then Mona doesn't even answer her. We don't get an answer. She calls her mom.
So she probably did call her mom. I mean,
Don't worry, mom. I'm just in Wakanda. I know, crazy. Right?
because Wakanda's not kidnapping her. They're just like, all right, yeah, we just need to take you to your safety.
It's like I wasn't kidnapped by the Wakandans, but these underwater blue people
Yeah.
took me.
All right.
You know the Mayans he thought were dead for centuries? Yeah, they're back.
It's like, I met a mine yesterday, Mom. I was crazy. They're blue.
What? What are you on?
But yeah, you want to talk about the end?
Yeah, so I thought it was very very poignant because they didn't have too much time for her to like exactly reflect privately on T'Challa.
Mm-hmm.
So I like how they kind of flash like different scenes of him and then like how she remembers him. And like that was nice.
It was.
And it kind of brought home the whole thing in the background that they're kind of doing with like telling like her whole theme, like her arc, getting over the fact that one, T'Challa's dead. And then she kind of has to deal with being the Black Panther now,
Yeah.
which I assume they're going to get more into in the next sequel, the next property she's in.
Yep.
And then, and like her like reflecting on like how much loss she's been through in such a short amount of time, and like So like I just like we're focusing on the new Black Panther and ushering in like a new era.
Daniel Destin Cretton, the guy who did Shang-Chi, is directing the Kang Dynasty.
Okay.
Does Ryan Coogler direct Secret Wars?
I think they right now they want him to.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
If he directed Secret Wars.
I think that's the rumor. I don't think it's been confirmed yet. Or
So I think he's a really good director. I don't think he I mean maybe it just might be me. I don't mix well with his movies. I think they're all kind of like just a shade before greatness. Like Black Panther, I wasn't really a fan of the first one. I thought everyone was like, it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. I'm just like, are you guys sure? It's like, oh, whatever, man. I don't want to get into it. And then Creed was okay, but it wasn't like Rocky to me, And then Fruitvale was very like aggressive for me to watch. And then just so it's like his movies just kind of never really hit hard for me. This is probably my favorite one of his. But I do notice a lot of technical things wrong with his movies. Specifically in this one, a lot of focus issues. There's a lot of scenes where there's close up on people's faces just wasn't in focus. You know?
I also mentioned the ADR in some spots.
ADR too, yeah, where they're going like underwater.
The underwater scenes especially. I think they might have been going for that type of feel because like sometimes like underwater sounds might not travel like at the same speed as they do on land.
I bet you they literally filmed it underwater.
It's possible.
And because there's a lot of like, you could hear like pee-pops through the mic. Like him like getting cut off and just feeling like, oh, he's just filming in front of a microphone, not like naturally underwater, if that makes sense.
Well, I mean, true. The guy, Thanos Huerta, never actually learned to swim.
Oh, really?
He had to learn to swim for this movie.
Oh, wow.
So that's a nice little tidbit, and I guess, well, he had to use that.
I mean, they made it look pretty natural. So
who did it better, Aquaman or this one?
I didn't see Aquaman.
See Aquaman?
No, I knew it was going to be like, it's DC.
I mean, I like the Aquaman, but I will say one thing that Aquaman had over Talokan is that it was better lit. Just because everything was kind of dark and gloomy in Talokan, and they had that one.
They were
light
deep
source.
underwater. Yeah. So, I guess they got it more accurate though in Black Panther because you can't get a lot of light down there.
Oh yeah, you wouldn't get light down there.
Yeah, exactly. So they got a little more accurate in that sense.
Disney is definitely putting more quantity over quality. We mentioned that a lot with the other
This one's
properties.
definitely one of the better quality movies.
Yeah.
It's
For this phase, 100%. Yeah.
yeah, it's better than it has been.
Maybe not this phase. I would not say this phase had better quality.
No, I'm saying this was one of the quality of this phase.
Quality of this phase. Yes, for sure.
Yeah, this is the best quality of the phase.
No Way Home. That's quality. Are you fucking kidding me?
Andrew Garfield looks goofy.
You're goofy.
When he's introduced, it just looks goofy. I don't know, but but even the Ant-Man trailer that we saw, it definitely looked like they're on a green screen. Like it looked very clear. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're on the quantum realm. They're a totally separate realm. You can kind of.
I get it, but like it felt like Spy Kids 3D. I'm not even exaggerating.
Well,
you've seen that
it's
meme,
also
right?
not finished.
I think you're being a little harsh. Yeah.
Movie's not finished. Mid-credit scene. Did not expect this at all.
No.
So the reason Nakia left for 6 years and didn't come back is she was pregnant with T'Challa's son after he snapped away. So
like I imagine they hooked up right at the end of the first Black Panther, then, right? Mm-hmm. Okay.
And
because like the next day he's fighting Thanos. So, like there's like no time to do this.
Yeah, and little T'Challa Jr. That was it was a nice little thing.
So because I'm a T'Challa and Black Panther fan, so I was like, all right, I'll take this. This is because there is the whole movement to recast T'Challa.
Yeah, we're actually going to bring that up later.
So this gives the fans what they want, In
a way, the kid looks pretty accurate. It looks a lot like Chadwick Boseman too, and I like that.
Is that in the comics?
He has a son in the comics. Black Panther has a son with Storm.
But
I think that character's name Azuri, and he has like electric powers and like
so it's
powers.
okay.
But he's not named T'Challa or anything.
So this is made just for.
I think this is just for
Just for the thing.
just for the fans because like
Toussaint.
because you can still do the T'Challa stories and you could still maybe even pair him up with Storm in the future and
Yeah.
this way everyone's happy. You get you still honor Chadwick. Oh, speaking of how Marvel honored Chadwick, I like the beginning, the Marvel.
The
logo.
The logo.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Nice.
I was like, oh wow.
And like it was silent too.
Yeah.
I noticed that. Or is it,
You just heard like the wind blowing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just same way at the end, you just heard the wind blowing when she was reflecting on Chadwick. So it was a nice little touch there. So what is your stance on that? Do you think they should have after watching this movie now, or do you think they chose their right?
A part of me kind of wishes they could have recast it just because, like, I would have liked to see what Ryan Coogler's original vision was for, Black Panther
M'Baku as
2.
the villain, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I also heard a story that he was still going to do Namor, so I don't know.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I imagine they just kind of subbed Shuri in for T'Challa. Although it would feel weird if like he got kidnapped and like kind of shown around the city.
Yeah.
That just doesn't seem like a T'Challa thing that would happen.
Well, because I do know, I think in the comics, Namor and Black Panther, they are like kind of rivals at each other.
Yeah.
So I think they might have played that aspect more.
Okay.
Whereas-
Yeah.
Like, because, like, in the comics, like, Namor has come and invaded Wakanda, and they've had, they've had skirmishes.
Yeah, I bet they would have. Obviously, I think T'Challa would have been in place of Angela Bassett in the UN scene.
Probably.
So
I mean,
But also-
it doesn't mean
well,
the same script is going to be written.
To answer your question, it would be hard to recast T'Challa. Like, I think what the course they're on right now is better. You give people more time to heal. Like, now people can wrap their mind around, all right, like, we know we're going to get a recast eventually. Who are some, actors that we think could carry this role, or, or do you start off, like, with, like, maybe, like, a young actor and then, like, age him up?
maybe that's what they're trying to do with. T'Challa Jr. now.
Yeah. Maybe.
Well, when I meant young, I meant like maybe like kill him as a teenager, then like a young man, and then cast him as an adult. like
start off with a flashback type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. They could have done that, and then
yeah.
you know what? I'm glad they went the direction they did.
Yeah.
They did a hell of a job with this, honestly.
I mean, yeah. Talk about like
It's a tall
a
task.
Yeah.
like a it was still a cohesive movie.
Yeah.
First of all, that's already an achievement in itself, and to have it be one of the better ones of the phase, like that's I think this is probably the most solid movie in Phase 4. Not my favorite because Spider-Man: No Way Home, but I think as a solid movie, they pulled it off.
I agree. But
yeah, I would have. It's hard to say whether I would want him recast because I'm pretty sure that was what his family's wishes were, that they, he wanted to be recast.
Yeah, that was his wishes. He would have wanted that.
Yeah.
I think he don't necessarily cast for like look-alike, maybe cast for more like embodiment of that performance. But then also that might not be fair to the whoever the actor would have been, because then he can't make it his
live
own.
up to that.
That's
yeah.
true. That's true. Like, yeah, those are big shoes to try and step in.
Yeah, like I mean, look at how badly we react to just franchises being reboot with like Ben Affleck got so much flack
For Batman.
Yeah. Robert Pattinson recently just like automatically like, oh, the Twilight guy, are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
So it just wouldn't it would have been a hard task for that person. What? I didn't hear you.
I said, serious?
Serious? Looking at you, Sep. All right. But yeah, so I do agree with you. It would have been really cool to see what Ryan Coogler had in mind in the first place. Like that's what what could have been with like the Star Wars sequel trilogy if at least Episode 9 if Carrie Fisher didn't die. Yeah. We don't know, and we'll probably never get it, but it's fine.
All right. Well, I had other stuff to talk about, but we are at a very, very overtime thing here. So we are going to wrap this one up here. What do you give this movie out of 100 a day?
I give it a 8.5. Oh no, well, 85.
85?
Yeah,
Okay.
85 out of 100.
Solid. All right.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna give it close to that. I'm gonna go to I'm torn between like
Had an hour to think about it.
I'm not thinking about it till just now. I'm just gonna stick with it. I'm gonna give it an 85 as well. It was a solid movie. It was better than the first one, I think, personally. But
See, I like the first one a lot more, but
Okay.
yeah.
this one was long in points. They could have cut down some of the scenes in general, but like I think everything in this movie was needed. I don't think there was a scene that really wasn't needed. Maybe they could have cut it down a little bit in some scenes, but that's about it.
I'll go 80.
Okay.
Just because, like, I respect this movie a lot. Just for what it had to do. And it's cohesive, and it's the best one of the phase. But I think this phase overall just doesn't match up to the past three. And I don't want to, like, forgive it too much. I always recency bias everything. So
You say best of the phase. You know Spider-Man came in his phase, right? Spider-Man
I said
came
this
in his
before.
phase.
I think Spider-Man No Way Home is my favorite of the phase. I don't think it's the
Just
most.
said this one was your favorite of the phase. Fucking liar.
Did I? Did I say favorite or best?
He said best.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Bitch. Anyway.
I swear you did.
Yeah, so I just don't want recency bias. I think it's going to end up dropping because I did this with Doctor Strange. And, the little things out of focus in some areas in like, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like maybe it's just a Ryan Coogler thing. I'm just not clicking with it. It just doesn't feel like it's just amazing, So, 80.
All right. Well, that's about it for us. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok with the handle @SeenItBeforecast. That's SCENE @Beforecast. And on Twitter with the handle SIB_pod. I'm Dan.
I'm Danny. You can find me on Instagram @Danny_Was, my letterbox and serialized @DJ Was, or my YouTube channel, which is just Danny Was. And Aday, would you like to plug anything?
And your social medias?
My name's Aday. Aday Gibson Ellison on Facebook and Adewale Jimma on Instagram.
That will be in your CG right under you. Don't worry. We'll get that all sorted out. But yeah, thank you for coming on today.
Oh, thanks for
Glad you
having me,
actually
guys.
got in the video portion of our podcast.
Yeah.
And
This was fun.
oh, hell yeah. We're going to have to do this again.
Definitely.
Honestly, we were expecting like 45 minutes for this podcast, but it went well over an hour. I'm
Okay.
Much
glad
like
we
the
had to
movie,
come.
it's supersized.
Like, it is. Yeah, honestly. But yeah, it's been an honor to talk to everyone as usual, and see you next time.